So there's been a lot of confusion online about AI agents in HubSpot and how it impacts your HubSpot credits available each month. Today, I'm going to walk you through Customer Agent as well as its credits usage and how you can manage that and make sure you don't go over your usage. Let's get into it. Before we get into Customer Agent, there is a knowledge base article that I'm going to link in the description below. And it does have a couple things that you need to get this started before we even build any new customer agents. So first up, you need to make sure you have at least one Facebook, WhatsApp, or live chat channel created in your portal. And it needs to be connected to a conversations inbox or a help desk workspace. So there are links in here on how to go create those, and if we do have any relevant videos to show you how to do that, we'll also link those in the description below. Now the other thing is as well is if you're planning on having this customer agent on an external website, so something that's not built in HubSpot, you are also going to need to make sure that you have the HubSpot tracking code added to that website, otherwise it just won't work. So again, there is a link in here on how to set that up, and it's pretty straightforward. Finally, you need to make sure that you have your AI settings turned on properly in HubSpot. So where you go to do that is we're going to head over to our settings, and then on the left-hand side, there's an AI option. And then we just need to make sure we have the correct options toggled in here to make sure that we're giving the AI agents the correct access to be able to generate and do some of these actions within HubSpot. So as long as you've got that stuff set up, we're pretty much ready to play around with Customer Agent. So in order to get that going first, we're going to head over to the Breeze Marketplace. So head over to Breeze, then to Marketplace. And in here, you can either search at the top for Customer Agent, but I believe it does sit down in here, pretty easy to find straight up. So you click into Customer Agent, and then if you haven't got it installed yet, there will be a button here to install it. You do need to have the correct permissions in your portal to install it. If you don't, just send that through to a super admin and they'll be able to help you out. But once it's ready, you can either hit open directly from here, or you head over to Service, and there's a Customer Agent option here. This is where you're going to manage, create, and tweak your customer agents. So for example, in the overview section, we haven't got one live right now, so we don't have a lot of information in here, but I will talk through what would show up in here in a second. But the main thing is to go create an agent. So for example, HubSpot has given us a agent to begin with called Gary, and I can change the avatar, his name, I can also change his personality and his voice if I want to. So this is where we go basically create the perfect customer agent for our brand. Now, we've selected using our brand voice, which is pretty much the brand kit and the prompts that you would give any other AI tool, and like the instructions you give them on how to speak and how to create content that is aligned with your brand itself. So to go update that, we're going to head over to, I believe it's under content, yep, and then under brand. So in here, this is where you can pretty much adjust your brand identity, but specifically this is the brand voice. So this is where we teach them what kind of personality is relevant, the tone, the mission, and any other rules we want them to consider so that they're more likely to speak in a way that's consistent with Neighbourhood, for example. Once you're happy with that, then that's pretty much good to go on the identity. Next up, we're going to head down to the knowledge. So the cool thing with Customer Agent is it can speak to your customers in the chat and everything and be able to do some of that basic top-level support to save your team time and be able to potentially answer questions without having to pass over to a human where possible. But it's all dependent on the amount of access and data you give it. So in here, I can go to content sources and I can choose different website pages, landing pages, blogs that I can give access to. So it can go search our existing content and be able to answer typical questions for customers based on the information I've given it. So for example, I could have a customer agent that is just specific to one type of product and it's really good at that. So I'm only going to give it content sources that are related to that, so it doesn't get confused with anything else. Or you could just give a general customer agent. It's really your choice. To do that, you just hit add content. You can choose from HubSpot. You can even upload your own files or import from public URLs. If there is nothing that already exists on the internet that you can use, Maybe, for example, you notice that there's typical questions that are being asked by customers and you just want to give it a bit more pointed direction on how to respond to those. You can create short answers as well. So, for example, if somebody asks this type of question, here's a clear and concise answer that I want the customer agent to use when responding to it. Next up, we've got CRM data. So this is in beta at the moment. Basically, this is a cool tool for existing customers or existing contacts in the CRM. We can actually choose which CRM data that it can go check, that it can view or even edit, for example. So maybe you have a returning visitor that's coming in and they're asking something about their specific account or situation. We could give this agent permission to view something that is unique data to that contact and then answer that question for them in the chat. So again, I haven't tested this specific scenario, but I could imagine maybe you have a ticket in there for support and you're wanting to know the status of where it's at, and it could report on the status and what next steps are needed potentially. But you can choose a whole bunch of things in here and give it access to, for example, I can give it access to only view. And how does it make sure it's checking and sharing information on the correct properties? We're going to do it probably by matching emails or verifying emails, which is the source of truth for contacts. I can give it specific instructions on how to reference this property in conversations. And then I can also choose whether I give it permission to edit. So for example, if we have a customer that comes through the chat and they've updated their phone number or their address or something like that, I can give the customer agent approval to go update those properties. Obviously, use that at your discretion, and I definitely recommend heavy testing to see how you can break it, because if you're getting it to update critical data, you do want to make sure it works properly. Next up, we've got actions down here. This is a little bit more technical. You can connect in APIs and get it to actually do things based on the conversation that it's having. I think we're going to keep this for another video for another time. But if this is something that you definitely want to learn more about, make sure you leave a comment below so we can prioritize it. The next one is all about human handoff. So human handoff, this is when we need to define when does this customer agent decide to hand off to an actual human to continue the conversation. So typically this is if it can't answer a specific question, or maybe the customer is talking about specific topics that we definitely want a human to respond to instead of an agent. So in here, the first option is customer agent will hand off to a human when it hears the following triggers. So I can just hit this edit button and then add in a number of different triggers for it to look out for. Then the next one is when it's triggered, the customer agent will do this process. So for example, we might want to send it offline and just push a ticket through and then give a certain period of time for our humans to get to it. Or it might just do a live handoff if we have a team that's able to monitor and respond to live chats. Alternatively, we can send it through to email channels. Finally, we've got deployment and channels. So deployment is pretty much just choosing where it lives and how it's going to operate. So typical thing for people to use is live chat, but also you need to choose where it's going to sit and store those conversations within HubSpot. So again, it's very typical for you to use your inbox where you store all your conversations, or if you have it set up, your help desk. And then email capture settings. So this is actually quite critical in my opinion, is you get to choose when your agent is asking for the customer's email address. We can't associate this conversation to a contact in HubSpot unless we know exactly who it is, and email address is our source of truth for matching. So depending on the nature of how you're setting up your agent and where it's going to be living on your website, you might decide to do it at the very beginning before it gives any help. Or maybe before, after it answers the first question, then it asks for the email address. So maybe give it a little bit of value, then ask for that to continue on. Or you might be happy just to not collect email addresses. It's entirely up to you. And that's pretty much your customer agent. From here, you can go hit the test Gary option if your agent is also named Gary. And I definitely recommend just seeing what different scenarios you can throw it and see where it struggles. You can also review your performance in here to see what impact it's having, how many conversations it's handling without human intervention, and positive, negative feedback. The other thing that's really cool about this is it's going to identify knowledge gaps. So based on the conversations it's having, it's going to figure out where it doesn't have enough knowledge or content to reference to be able to better answer questions. So then periodically you can go create new content to answer those questions, which is only going to help your audience even more, but it's also going to help your agent be more effective for your customers as well. And finally, you've got the overview page. So this is where you can create new content, see the knowledge gaps at a glance, and see your performance at a glance as well. There's a lot of information there, so definitely start simple and grow from there. But the final bit that I need to touch on is the HubSpot credits that it uses. If you start putting your customer agent on every single web page, it can very quickly consume your credits depending on what plan you're on. Now, there is another article online about HubSpot credits that we will link in the description below, but this dictates how many credits the customer agent uses at the moment. And of course, this is subject to change because right now all these agents are in beta. This could change in the future. So it actually sits under the product and services catalog. And if we jump down to, Breeze agents. So in here, it's got a table of the different agents and what credits it uses, but then also what it means. So if the customer agent uses 100 credits per conversation, what does it mean by one conversation? What is one conversation? Because you could have somebody that chats on live chat and then has to take it over to email and continue that conversation. Does it count as one or is it multiple conversations? So in the Setup and Configure the Customer Agent article on the knowledge base, currently a conversation counts as, it sits under the credits option. So conversations automatically close after a period of inactivity. So if it's a live chat, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or calling conversation, it will close after 24 hours of inactivity. So if that customer comes back after 24 hours of inactivity, it's going to count as another 100 credits used. If it moves to an email conversation, that closes after 72 hours of inactivity. So again, if they come back after a few days, that's going to be another 100 credits. So it's important to keep that in mind and just have a look at the trends of how your customers interact with your business through conversations, help desk, and live chat. And then just consider how you slowly launch customer agents to manage your credits effectively. You can also go over to your settings to review and manage your credits over time. So for example, I just head over to my name up here, head down to HubSpot credits. I can see how many credits are remaining for the month. I can also see historically how we've used our credits. And if you're getting close to reaching your limit, you can also see what's using up your credits. So I can see all these different features that could use credits and how many it's used. And if customer agent is the culprit for all of your usage, you can click into it and see even more information on what's going on to further diagnose how you manage it better in the future. If all of this activity is critical and it's valuable to you and you're happy to go over your usage, there are options to increase your credit limits, as well as just pay-as-you-go options too. So you can explore that all in your account and billing settings. Yes, that is a lot of information for this video. Like I said, if you do have more questions about agents and HubSpot credits, please feel free to chuck it in the comments below. But check out all our other content as well to get more tips on how to best use AI in HubSpot. Happy HubSpotting.